Hello, Dr. Demi.
Good evening, sir.
Musibao. Keep on me, say,
Hello, sir. Hello.
oh, Mundambi awara modeke ni o.
Ọjọ́ tírì.
Kí lẹ wí?
Ní ẹkú ọjọ́ tírì. Ẹkú ọjọ́ mẹ́ta.
Ẹ ṣeun ṣeun o.
What's wrong with this? Let me show you Instagram.
Good evening, doctor.
Good evening, Mr. Albert. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. And you?
Okay, I'm getting there.
Thank God.
Been a rough last 2 weeks, but I'm okay. Okay, I think we can get started. For some reason, the Instagram is not coming up. Mama Sita, good evening. I see you. What's going on here? This is strange. Anyways. I'm not even sure whether it's live or not. That's the problem. Can't confirm.
Good evening, doctor. Good evening, house.
Good evening, ma. Yeah, so it's live now. Okay, cool. So good evening, everybody. I hope that you can see my screen. I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, I do hope it's visible. Okay, good evening. Welcome to Crypto Pulse Weekly, weekly digest of happenings on the markets. As I said, that I almost didn't want to do today's own because I wasn't feeling too great, but it's okay. The show must go on. So welcome to Crypto Pulse Weekly. I'll go over most of the things that couldn't go over last week because of the fluctuating signal, and I'll talk about the things that have been shaking the market this week. Obviously, in our market updates, one of the things I think happened, apart from the volatility on the Bitcoin price, has been the issue of the Wall Street versus Reddit Street tussle on the stock prices of GME and AMC. I'm going to get deeper into that story, but I think that narrative is going to play a very important part in the evolution of cryptocurrency adoption this year. It's quite funny that it has taken that part, but I think it's going to be very significant what we're going to see in terms of how this plays out into the general narrative in the coming months. So yeah, Bitcoin price crashed. It did crash, I think as low as 29 at some point. Then just at the point where everybody was almost saying, okay, yes, this is quite bearish. We are not able to break above 34. It looks like we're now in a bear sub-season of the bull run. Then all sorts of things happened today, and Bitcoin price literally blasted through the roof of that particular key resistance that everybody was watching out for. I'll talk about it during the technical analysis and basically what has happened. Of course, we have the mixed messages that caused the market dump last week. around the new Treasury Secretary talking about Bitcoin and saying, Bitcoin is being used by criminals, blah, 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 blah. And then making a 360 just about 24 hours after. I remember one of my mentors saying that a person like Janet Yellen doesn't just make a 360 on her statements if she hasn't been receiving calls from the big boys. That what's been happening is Wall Street is tactically positioning itself to profit from the bull run, and they don't want anybody to spoil that market. So they will have been calling her, Madam, please just adjust that statement small so that boys are not wrecked. And of course, that changed because that particular 24-hour period, the price dumped like 4,000 over a 24-hour period. And of course, the sentiment right now is mixed, and I'll explain why the sentiment is mixed, even though I think we're pretty much established in the near term that we're in the bull run. But I think very strongly that we might enter an old season in the coming weeks, a very significant one as that. After which Bitcoin would, I think, generally skyrocket like it's done in the early days of January and the later part of 2020. So let's get cracking on the news. The first and the most prominent news that's happened this week has been the issue of GameStop and AMC. And I think I need to explain the context here, just for the benefit of people who did not see this news. So GameStop is a traditional brick and mortar store that sells games to people. They're not projected to make any profits on ground, according to the company projection, maybe until 2023. And of course, because of the COVID problems that we've had, is one of those industries that have been badly hit because people are not able to go in store to actually, visit the game store and perform their enterprise. So to say, they're not able to shop. So because they're not able to shop, it means that the turnover of the company is going to be low. If the turnover is low, the profit is going to be low. So because of that, the Wall Street fat cows have been betting against the price of GameStop. And just to explain what that means, what it means is that they're shorting the price. Now, in the stock market, when you want to short a particular stock, what you do is you borrow the stock. So depending on whether you're leveraging or you're not leveraging, you borrow the stock from the broker. When you borrow the stock from the broker, then you short it, hoping that the drop in price difference will give you some gain. Then you buy it back at a lower price and then return the original shares that was borrowed from the broker back to the broker, and then you profit off the spread. Meaning, if the stock was selling at 100 and you as a Wall Street broker, as a Wall Street trader, you short that stock. When that stock drops in price, two things are going to happen. You are able to buy back that stock at a cheaper price. Secondly, you are able to sell that stock back to, or give back the borrowed stock back to the person you borrowed it from, and then pocket the profits. So what happened here was that GameStop was already being short for several years. So this group called Wall Street Bets, they're like an online activist group on Reddit, which is a social media platform. And they basically look for companies that are doing hanky-panky stuff and report it with their investigation. So they came up and said that hedge funds have been shorting GameStop and that they've been unhealthily killing the company before its death, because what they are doing is that because they are shorting the price of that stock, nobody can buy the stock profitably because the price is always going down. And as a result of that, even though if the company is going down, the company has no chance of raising capital because the stock is always going down. So they can't even raise capital to sustain their business or to revamp their business. So they came out and said that, the Wall Street guys are ripping people off by shorting the stocks of real life companies. So they mobilized and created a campaign that ensured that nobody was selling their stock, their GameStop, so that if if they buy it and they are not selling their stock, what will happen is, because the short sellers need to return those borrowed stock, as I earlier explained, at some point, they will have to close out their short position, accept the loss, buy back the stock at a higher price to return those stock back to the brokers. So they call it a short squeeze, and that's exactly what happened. So they kept the hedge funds in a short squeeze, and they made them liquidate their short positions because nobody was selling. Of course, the price of GMC went through the roof. GME went through the roof. Same thing with AMC, and of course, the hedge funds started complaining anywhere they could complain on different platforms. And if I was yesterday or yesterday and today, what was now happening was that they were literally calling up the exchanges and blocking people from trading those stocks. Of course, people still didn't sell, and of course the stock went up. Then they blocked people from selling, and they block people literally from trading that stock. So if you bought that stock even at the high price, and they now stop, they froze trading, what it means is that the price will crash. Technically speaking, there will be a gap on the chart because trading is frozen. So what that would do is to allow the big fat guys, the hedge fund, to cash out of their shorts and burn and smoke the retail traders. Of course, I think about $70 billion was lost by the hedge funds just because of this, because there were many of them that were just doing it. So they just shot this company and just pushed down the price. And I remember back in, I think, Q3 last year, Elon Musk was complaining about short sellers, that they're not doing any good for the society, that what's it called? The short sellers on Wall Street, they're not productive, that they're just manipulating the market to their own good. So when this happened, he sort of was laughing and said, yes, I already said it before, that these guys are not to any good. Of course, that created a lot of problems, because having wreaked havoc to the Wall Street guys to the tune of $70 billion, the exchanges were now blocking people from trade. So even people like Robinhood app that was allowing retail traders to trade was blocking people from trading those AMC and GME stocks. That's now created a second wave of protest, which some people capitalized on and has filtered into the crypto market. So I'm going to explain how that has filtered into the crypto markets in the last 24 hours. But basically, this is the genesis of some of the price action that we've seen today and some of the things that are moving the news. So, of course, there's a lot of protest online that, when Main Street is wrecking individual traders or retail traders, nobody is stopping the market for them. Now that individual traders are screwing up Main Street or Wall Street is trying to shut down the game. In fact, so many memes, somebody said it's like you are playing PS and they are trashing you, and you remove the plug and took the Xbox or the PS4 away. Another person said it's like playing, a match of football, and because your team is losing, you shut down the stadium or you remove the goalpost. So it's become more of a quote and unquote class war, I think. And it's almost like a movement. And I think that movement is eventually going to land in crypto land. It's going to dovetail into crypto. And I'll explain, how this is going to happen. One is people are now finding out that big banks and Wall Street do not mind if the little guys get crushed when they lose or when they're trading. But if the coin is flipped and is in the reverse, they are quick to move to protect themselves. Because of this singularism, there will be a lot of desire for people to decentralize investments. Now, cryptocurrencies and the cryptocurrency world is already primed and prepared for this season, because we already have technologies like decentralized finance, popularly known as DeFi, that allows people to trade on decentralized platforms without necessarily, paying homage to any platform in particular. And that singular fact is going to drive a lot of crypto adoption beyond what we were thinking before, even on the retail level. So all we've been screaming about before was, institutional adoption and how, the big banks, Wall Street, and everybody is coming into crypto. But I think now we're going to see some massive influx into the cryptocurrency world. And I mean, that's exemplified by the next item I was going to talk about, which was Dogecoin. Now, if you know the cryptocurrency world very well, you will know that there are thousands and thousands, over 7,000 digital assets. Bitcoin just happened to be like the reserve currency and the index assets in the cryptocurrency world. But over and above that, there are over 7,000 more digital assets. Many of them, they don't use for anything. They don't have any value of their own. Some of them are just for fun. And one of them is Dogecoin. Dogecoin is what you can call a meme coin, M-E-M-E, meaning it's just for fun. The creators just decided that, you know what, they talk about the government being able to print money endlessly. Let's create a cryptocurrency for the dog that helps you to print money endlessly. And so they created Dogecoin. So Dogecoin allows you to, it issues 10,000 units every 10 minutes, something like that on the chain. So Dogecoin is in surplus, but because the meme coin, it's pretty much hype driven. So the last hype that Dogecoin had last year was pretty much on TikTok. Just had TikTok influencers saying, let's pump Dogecoin to $1, and people kept piling on to Dogecoin, and then Dogecoin increased by, I think that was maybe 80% or something crazy in a very short while. But what happened this time was crazy, because the Robinhood activists, or the Wall Street Bet activists, who were angry with what Robinhood, Ameritrade, and all these stock exchanges were doing by blocking their trade, were now finding out that, you can come into crypto and trade what you like. Then at some point, somebody introduced Dogecoin, because Dogecoin is a very popular social media coin anyway, in terms of, just for the fun of it. And people started buying Dogecoin. I woke up this morning and I saw Dogecoin had done 12x from what it was 2 days ago. Literally, that's done 1,300% in a 48-hour period. Of course, it's going to crash. It's probably going to crash over the weekend. At some point, it became like number 9 in terms of market cap. Got to like $8 billion.
Number 7.
Number 7, yeah. Number 7, thank you very much. Number 7. It got to over $8 billion. Of course, it's just pump. It's just hype. People are just pumping and like, oh, let's hold it. Then to now add fire to the flame, or to petrol to the flame, Elon Musk now puts Dogecoin on his bio, and of course that sent the price crazy. It's already correcting in the fact that many people who are smarter investors than myself, because I was like, no, I don't like this kind of investments, so I never bought it. They already cashed out. People that had it since December, for instance, that were looking for the next opportunity for the pump, they already bought it, and some of them sold at very, very, very handsome profits. Really, really incredible profit. I think when this all crash comes down, I'm going to take time to buy a very big bag of Dogecoin just for keeps against the next time. But it's just one of those insanity that happens on the cryptocurrency world, and and because of the background of what was happening in the stock market, this just took off all of a sudden, and everybody went crazy. And in fact, let me show you some of the things that fueled. So you had Elon Musk posting the picture on the left on his Twitter account, just at the time a Wall Street Bet parody account started mentioning Dogecoin. That was the same time he also changed his bio to former CEO of Dogecoin. Of course, because of that, everybody just went crazy. Like, yeah, that Elon Musk is onto Dogecoin, and Dogecoin is like pumping since yesterday till this morning. As if that was not enough, Elon Musk now changed his bio this morning to Bitcoin. Of course, that in itself has another impact on the price of Bitcoin and what we've seen happen today. And I will explain that in detail under technical analysis. But what this says is that there is a shift, there's a seismic shift, definitely, in finance, in investments, and it has very, very serious implications in the years and in the months to come. Because what this is saying is that people are suddenly seeing that, okay, this is not a level ground. Like I was reading a tweet, and the guy was saying that the rich will tell the poor, don't spend all your money, invest your money. Then the poor goes ahead and invest the money and outsmart the rich, and the rich says, oh, no, stop. You can't invest anymore. That people are suddenly finding out that, of course, when it suits the big banks and the Wall Street guys, they're happy. they're happy for you to lose money. But when it's their turn to lose money, they want to stop the game. Basically, they want the walkover in their favor when they're losing. And that is creating a lot of dissent. And I mean, against the backdrop of the fact that people have been at home for a long time, people that are working are not spending as much. The people that are not working need cash. People need money. And because of that, people are looking for alternative investments, alternative channels. And people are seeing that, okay, we do have some, alternative channels of making money in these various investment vehicles. So that's going to drive a lot of interest in the coming months and in the coming years. And of course, because of Elon Musk bio change to Bitcoin, we saw a huge spike. I will show you that spike later. In terms of Ethereum last week saw an all-time high over the weekend. I did cover last week because of the break in transmission that we're having, and it's drawn back by, it's lost about 20 or 25% since then, but it's headed back now. I think we'll see Ethereum all-time high in the next 1 week. Once Ethereum breaks the all-time high in the next 1 week, I think we're going to see a $2,000 Ethereum, which is almost double what it is right now. What I'm not sure of is if it's going to, it's going to tank after 2,000 or it's just going to keep going. But in terms of pure investment play, let me just say this now. In terms of pure investment play, Ethereum is eventually going to be, if not bigger, almost as big as Bitcoin. And I'll explain my rationale. So Bitcoin, as we know, it was designed to be peer-to-peer means of exchange of currency or exchange of value. But over and above that, people have discovered that Bitcoin can serve as a good storage of value, but it's not as robust in terms of the utility for finance. And that's where Ethereum comes in. Ethereum comes in as a platform that provides a base for you to build various applications, various functionalities that solve the problem of finance and investment today. So many people do not realize that yet. They just think that, okay, Ethereum is just number two. It's beyond number two. Ethereum has provided the broad base that has actually made the cryptocurrency sphere to grow this wide. Because if not because of Ethereum, many of the tokens and coins that we have today would not be alive. But because Ethereum provided that broad base and that technological base, we now have so many other derivatives, so many other offsprings and offshoots of the Ethereum network. And because of that, I think in the near future, I think if Ethereum does not meet up with Bitcoin in the next 2 years, probably in the next 4 years, I think what will happen is once central banks start, keeping Bitcoin as storage of value, which I think will happen very soon. I think everybody will just like, okay, yeah, central bank has become, or Bitcoin has become, as they say in Yoruba, the meat of the elders. And so people will look for other alternatives. But it will still, it will still keep itself as a storage of value. Probably will still retain a very high value, probably in the millions, definitely in the millions at this rate. But Ethereum is the one I think is going to be the groundbreaking technology, because once people start exploring the cryptosphere and they see what Ethereum can do, then institutional investors, and of course some of them are already seeing it, but I think Main Street will eventually get to know what the capacity of the token is, and then we'll see a very meteoric rise in the price of Ethereum. So yeah, it's dancing around all-time high now. We expect to break it in a few weeks. Once it breaks all-time high, I expect it to do the same thing that Bitcoin has done and double over the all-time high. All-time high is about 1,400 plus. So once it does 1,400 plus, then we can expect to see 2,800 or 2,005 at the barest minimum. So people have asked me, okay, if you can't invest in Bitcoin, what can you invest in? I think Ethereum is a perfect one. It's just over $1,200 now. If you can buy as much as you can, you might be able to make it 10x sometimes this year. Not might, actually. I think you will is the better word, because once Bitcoin does its all-time high and all the funds starts flowing into alts, very quickly you see Ethereum's star begin to shine. Moving on, in terms of volatility and the response to Reddit and Wall Street Bets, we've seen a flooding of the exchanges. So major exchanges like Kraken, Binance, Coinbase have also had outages again. You know, many of these guys, once you flood them with a little traffic, all of them just start breaking down. So I know of Kraken, I know of Coinbase. Coinbase, people's stuff was freezing on Coinbase; they couldn't log in. For Binance, I think there was a freeze on deposits, and they sent out a notice to say that they have too much requests for people signing up today, and that they needed to attend to that first. So it was basically not just technological overflow. I think they're overwhelmed in terms of manpower as well. So they had to sort of pause withdrawal operations, because withdrawal operations, I think, goes through some level of the delegation of a financial authority before people withdraw funds from the exchange. So I think they've halted that so that they can manage the droves of people, you know, finding out what's Dogecoin, what's Bitcoin, trying to sign up on exchanges and all. So that's got a crash today, and that's probably why some of these exchanges are not working as they should. In other news, we have Grayscale, our usual institutional collector. As I was saying last week, they're going to launch Ethereum Trust next week. So last year, January, they launched the Bitcoin Trust. As at the time it was launched, it was subscribed to the tune of like 100 million or thereabouts at the beginning of January / end of December 2019. By the end of last year, they had reached 20 billion assets under management for Bitcoin Trust alone. And what they're saying, in fact, at the beginning of the year, they had to pause the subscription because they were oversubscribed and they didn't have enough Bitcoins to back up the subscription. So what they're saying now is they want to move into Ethereum. So Ethereum is launching on Monday, I think. At the same time, they've applied for 5 others, including Chainlink, Cardano, and Litecoin. And the likelihood is, in addition to this, I didn't cover this, but in addition to this, we're going to have CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, launch Ethereum futures on Monday. So to explain to people who don't know what Chicago Mercantile Exchange does, Chicago Mercantile Exchange is technically a private company, but it is the government, let me not say government, but yes, I can say government and big banks and Wall Street's backdoor for asset manipulation. You say why? You see, the price of any assets or any commodity usually should follow the normal flow of demand and supply. But because some assets are in short supply, and if the price is not being meddled with, those assets will be going up astronomically. So if you take silver, if you take gold, at some point you can take crude oil in some instances. At some point, soy, at some point millets, and at some point corn. You'll find out that what Chicago Mercantile Exchange is doing is allowing people to trade the future prices of those assets. Now, it's not only allowing people to trade the future prices, those future prices now serve as a template for which people are making quotes on the spot market. So even though they're not touching the spot market, technically, they're touching the spot market from behind. It's like somebody covering their face and trying to touch you from in your behind in the dark. That's the way I interpret it. So what they're doing is they serve as an avenue to allow the big banks to manipulate the price, to reverse manipulate the price. That's the best word. To reverse manipulate the prices of commodities and assets in the spot market. So basically what then happens is once they allow Ethereum to go on the futures, then you start seeing Ethereum prices start to behave like Bitcoin price. What do I mean? If you study the Bitcoin market, you find out that once the US session opens, you just find out that for the most part, 3 out of 2 days in a weekday, the price will have to go down. And why does the price go down? It's not going down because of anything. It's going down because the institutional traders are shorting the price. What do I mean by shorting the price? So usually when you buy Bitcoin, you just buy and hold, and the price goes up. As more people buy and less people are selling, the price goes up. But because you have these platforms that allow people to short, just the same way they're shorting the stock prices, it allows them to short the prices of Bitcoin. So they short the price of Bitcoin, and they're not only shorting the price, they're shorting the price with big volumes. So what happens is on that market, you have longs and you have shorts, meaning longs are the people that are betting for a price increase. Shorts are the people that are betting against the price increase for a price decrease. So what happens is the stock market will go on normally because of supply and demand. The price will normally go up. By now, Bitcoin price will have been around 50K or 60K. But because once this guy come on the market every weekday, they just short the market. In fact, there's a graph. I don't have the graph, but I have the graph somewhere on Twitter. That graph shows that hedge funds are the one that shorting the price of Bitcoin the most. And indeed, I mean, some of them are on perpetual shorts, as in they are constantly on shorts. So you just see that for the period that the US market opens, almost till the end of the day, GMT, the price of Bitcoin is never able to rise, except another institutional investor comes and makes a demand on the spot market. That's the only time you see that the price breaks out, and then the price is no longer going down. But for the most part, the price usually just calm down or drop or basically just plunge. In fact, most of the drops we've had on the price of Bitcoin, you find out that they've happened during that US trading hours, because that is when the guys are shorting the market. I'm looking for that Twitter. I'm trying to get my online. Oh, come on. I can't get it on. I was looking for that Twitter gap. It shows a graph of, how the institutions are playing. And you find that for the most part, the hedge funds are just literally shorting the price every single time. So, and that's why when the price then moves, the price moves in a very crazy manner, because it's almost like you're bottling in something under pressure, and then that thing suddenly explodes. When it explodes, of course, you know that it's going to explode in a very abnormal fashion. And that's actually what happens for most of those assets. Because for Bitcoin, for instance, because the demand is way more than the real supply, the price is going up, or the price should have been going up. But because the price is being reverse manipulated by the futures market and the derivatives market, the price is not going up as it should. So when a real demand comes in the middle of a trading session, it automatically jolts the price out of anybody's reach. And that's why the institutional investors were not happy about what the retail traders did with them, with the Reddit scenario, because what they did was they literally forced them to quit their long position, their short positions against their wishes, and they had to sell at a loss. And that's going to happen at some point in time. I think that's going to happen for Bitcoin as well. And again, you find out that in the times when Bitcoin pumps significantly, the markets are not open. So I'll take December, for instance. From the 24th of December, the evening of the 24th of December, all the way to the 2nd of January, Bitcoin price was able to pump directly proportionately to the demand on the market. And that's why we saw 40,000 and 42,000. So really, these mechanisms have been in place. I mean, they've been in place since the days of people trading gold. But, it's just now, because we have technology, everybody is able to see what's really going on. And because there's so much information available on the internet, we now know what is going on behind the scenes. Before now, it was just buried in what I would call, what do we call that thing? Balance. Is it balance now? Or investment speak, or investment balance? And people will be like, oh, they don't know what's going on. It's some complex investment algorithm. But really, what's happening is that the government and the big banks always find a way to push down the price. So if you're thinking that the price is not corresponding to the fundamentals, which is what I'm going to talk about today on Crypto Deep as well, meaning fundamentals versus technical, what's the difference and how does it affect the markets? These are some of the power plays that are going on in the background. The big boys are trying to reverse manipulate the market and keep the price down. So that's one of the things that are happening to the price that makes the price quite volatile, because it then means that if they've been keeping the price down with shorts, and many of those shorts are just for an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours, and then they close the position. But because the price had dropped in those period of time, they will have made money. And I mean, they shot in billions of dollars. They're not, people that are buying 4 Bitcoin or 5 Bitcoin. So billions of dollars is thousands of Bitcoin within a very short period of time. So that kind of short position automatically dumps the market. And that's what's happening. So hold on a second. Let me show you something. I have a Bitstamp. Yeah, I have a Bitstamp charts that I can show you. Yeah, I think, this one of mine. So this is a daily chart. If I show you the hourly charts, just to explain what I'm saying. Exactly. So in the beginning of today, the price was dropping normally because that pumped all the way from yesterday. And then the Elon Musk saga and Dogecoin saga happened. So one of the reasons Bitcoin was also popping was that people had to buy Bitcoin to change to Dogecoin. So people are buying Bitcoin. Then Elon Musk now mentioned Bitcoin. Then you saw the price spike from 32 to 36,000 within 1 hour. That's a 4K candle in 1 hour. And then here is 2 o'clock, open of New York session. You see the price starts dropping. On most days of the week, the price will drop. From 2 o'clock, the price will drop. Especially if the price had been pumping before, the price will naturally drop because you have big institutions shorting the market at that point in time. I just thought it was important to mention so that if you see the price dropping abnormally, these are things that are playing behind, plaguing the market behind the scene and making the price to drop. And the price behave abnormally. So you see $4,000 upswing, $5,000 downswing, and you're wondering what's really going on. That's what's up. As a fallout of this Reddit saga, you have these things happening. So right now, you have exchanges creating tokens for new investors that are coming in. So you have a Wall Street bet index that's been created. I saw Bittrex listing tokenized GME, AMC, and BlackBerry stock. So what Bittrex is doing is they buy a portion of stock and tokenize it. Tokenize it means they create a digital version of it, and then that digital version can now be traded on cryptocurrency exchange. So you already have that going on. That's going to be more in play this year because what's going to happen is crypto exchanges are literally going to take over stockbrokers. They're going to eat the breakfast and lunch and dinner of stockbrokers by tokenizing all their stuff and bringing it to the crypto world. Then when the companies find out that we don't really need to go to stock exchange, we can just go and list on a crypto exchange, they'll go and list on a crypto exchange, and then you find out that nobody's listing on New York Stock Exchange anymore. Then people will now start talking about DeFi, which is even a further step ahead of tokenizing stock exchanges. I think we're in interesting times, to be honest. It's very interesting times. There will be a lot of seismic shift in investments in the next 24 months. Absolutely. I can beat my chest about it. So what's happening now? On the back of this, so you have Bittrex creating token. I already saw, I can't remember what, another stock exchange, another cryptocurrency exchange as well, already selling, what's the name of this? So there's Wall Street Bet Index. There's a Wall Street Bet token. Yeah. I saw that on, it wasn't on an exchange. It was on CoinMarketCap. I was looking at CoinMarketCap a few moments ago. Hold on a second. I was looking at CoinMarketCap, and all of a sudden, I saw that on top of I'll show you now. See, Wall Street Bets. That's what I'm saying. On top of Bitcoin, you have a new token that has freshly been minted, 51 million. Guys are fast. They are so fast. Freshly minted, just in the last 24 hours. You have this new token called Wall Street Bets, opening price $43, and it's already gone crazy. It's mad. So I think we're going to see some very interesting stuff. So if you think stock market is the future, welcome to the world of crypto. Crypto is definitely going to eat stock market for lunch. Absolutely. I can beat my chest about it. So yeah, that's what's happening, and that's why the market has been quite volatile and seemingly unstable. But bear in mind that we're about to get into a serious altcoin season. I'll talk about that when we're doing crypto drip. in terms of our crypto vital signs, we've gained about 51 billion over the last 1 week. And of course, a lot of that has flowed into altcoins, as you have seen. I mean, Dogecoin alone has got how many billions in the last 1 week? So yeah, a lot of that has flowed into altcoins. And I think it's just going to go up from here. And I'll explain why I think it's going to go up from here. Oh my God. I plugged my phone to Instagram and it's not charging. That's strange. I've lost my Instagram life. Anyways, so technical analysis on the chart, on the weekly analysis chart, weekly chart, we see that from the second week in August, when we topped out at 42, we've come down subsequently. And as a matter of fact, if not for today's pump, we might have probably closed the week somewhere in the range of 29 or 28K. But because we bottomed out last week, essentially, and this week's low did not get as low, as deep as last week's low, this might be a reversal. Now, because of the shortening of Wall Street, guys, as at the time of capturing this, you can see that we're not at par with last week's open. But I think by the end of the day, by the end of the week, which is on Sunday, the crypto week ends on Sunday, that candle might be somewhere around here, which will essentially take it to 38, 39. So it will make it a bullish engulfing candle, which means the uptrend is resuming. On the daily chart, it's pretty obvious that we already had that. This is the bullish engulfing I was describing. We already have that play out on the daily charts with yesterday's close and the very large spike we had in price today. Pardon all the heavy graphics and stuff. They're just chart analysis tools and various trend line. But basically, if we close above 35, if we close above 35K today, which I think we would, once the Wall Street guys are closing off for the weekend, the normal retail traders effect begin to show on the price. I think the price will bounce back up. We might see a close of either 36 or 37 today, or even more. I'm not sure about the weekend. The weekend might just be stagnant, or some crazy whales might come and say, you know what, let's take it to 50K. And who knows? If there's something that catches up on the weekend on the internet and people get crazy about Bitcoin, you might see some magnificent pumps, as they say, over the weekend. But having said that, I think we're here now. We dropped back to early optimism, but I think we're in belief. Everybody's sort of seeing the value, and we're about to see some major action in the cryptocurrency space. For the fear and greed index, last week we went as low as 40, which was a good opportunity to buy, and that was reflected on the chart as well by the dip to 28,900. And right now we're back to 77. So I think we'll be this way for at least 1 week before anything changes significantly in terms of fear and greed. But yes, 30,000 region was a good opportunity to buy. Like somebody said, I don't know if we're ever going to see the prices at this, see Bitcoin at these prices again. It's any man's guess, but we shall see. But yeah, it was a good opportunity to buy the dip for everybody that wanted to buy the dip. I'm not sure if it's going to dip further than this dip now, given all the things that are happening. And because I see an altcoin season unfolding, because usually what happens is, historically in the cryptocurrency space, altcoins Dogecoin pumping precedes altcoin season. I don't know how that or why that happens, but that's been the pattern. Now, once you see Dogecoin pumping, all the other altcoins start to take shape and start to pump. So, like I was telling somebody that instead of trying to increase your Bitcoin position, you might consider buying altcoins. And for instance, I gave Swissborg. Which day did I give Swissborg? I think last week or 2 weeks ago, and I recommended Swissborg. A guy should buy Swissborg. From the point of that recommendation, I think Swissborg has done. Let me check.
It's giving me joy. Giving me joy.
Yeah, Yeah, I think Swissborg has done. I need to go and buy back my Swissborg. I sold it for Bitcoin. Now I'm biting my fingers. I need to follow my own advice. Yeah, so Swissborg is currently, Swissborg is currently 50 cents. I mean, see, this thing was in January. Let me show you. Beginning of January. Yes, on the 1st of January, 26 cents. So, I mean, 26, 25 cents. So it's done 100x from the 1st of January till date. And because it's relatively low cap, even though it's gained a lot now, it's about 500 million. But if you think about the where's the statistics now? Yeah, less than 1 billion circulating supply, and all the totals of, or the max supply is already on the market, which is a good thing. It means that all the tokens are already in circulation. They are not being kept by the founders or anything. So this is a very good index. Market cap is still below 1 billion. It might very easily overtake the likes of Crypterium. I think Crypterium is out of the way. Celsius, Crypto.com. I think he's going to take them out. If it continues at this rate, I think it's going to take them out. So I think you should get a bag of. I'm going to buy this back. I mean, regardless of the fact that it's already expensive now, I'm going to buy it back because I think this has the potential to do at least 10x from where we are. That's 10x is $5. I think it's not a bad investment if you get 10x. I think I'm going to load my bag with Swiss bag. So I mean, my plan originally was just I'll keep buying them, just buying dollar cost average, but I had to sell due to an emergency. But I'm going to start buying them back. So Swissborg is a good buy because of what's happening to alts. And February and March, especially based on analysis of historical charts and trends, February and March this year are likely to be very huge for altcoins. So if I've told you to sell your altcoins to Bitcoin, please sell it back to altcoin. And all the altcoins I've ever mentioned, Chainlink, Polkadot, Ethereum, Uniswap, which one is there again? I mentioned here. I think I mentioned Celsius, I mentioned Swissborg. All those
Cardano,
yes, and Cardano as well. All those altcoins I've mentioned, I think you should update your portfolio because you can quote me. I was going to say don't quote me, but you can quote me. I think they're going to pump in February and March. I think they're going to pump temporarily, and then it will look like the DeFi season we had between May and August last year. I think they're going to pump for about 2 or 3 months significantly, and then they're going to subside before Bitcoin continues its upward trajectory. That's the way I'm seeing this play out. So all those coins that we mentioned, I think it's a good time to put some bags in them. And like I was saying, he's already happy. He's already done almost 100% on his Swissborg investments. So I think we're still good for Swissborg because they're also burning the token. They have a token burn mechanism when they're approving transaction or something like that. And now they've done staking. You have staking for USDC. You have staking for Swissborg itself. And as they continue to add functionality, and they have a lot of buy-in from YouTubers as well, from YouTube influencers. So I think we're going to get a good pump on that. One other one that I've not mentioned to people, and I think it's quite significant. Hold on a second. Is Polkastarter. So I'll talk about these ones next week because I don't want to meddle them up. They are DeFi coins. They are relatively low cap, but I think they have good opportunities for pumping during the pump season. But don't forget Uni, very important. Uni was one of those tokens that I go for free and sold as well. I mean, it's such a regret. If you had the 400 units of Uni and you never sold it, now it's worth $6,000. And it was given for free.
I bought back.
Yeah, boss. I had it.
I'm going to buy back as well, regardless of how expensive it gets. And I need to explain my thought process here as well. The reason it's important to buy Uni is that Uni is the gateway platform for the DeFi technology. DeFi meaning decentralized finance. It's because of Uni that we have all the other Straw Swap, Sushi Swap, Moon Swap, all the swaps. It's because Uni created that platform. Everybody just copied their code base, copy and pasted, and started using it. So eventually, Uni is going to be like the Wall Street of the DeFi world. Give or take, if Uni takes 30% of market share from its current market capitalization, it's going to become 100 billion plus or thereabouts in market cap. Hold on a second. I just want to check. I just want to check the market capitalization. I'm already going into what I wanted to discuss today. So yes, circulating supply is about 2/3. Market cap is it's just 4 billion now, and it's $14. This guy opened at $2.50, went to $5.50 in 24 hours, then came back to $3, then dropped to $1 at some point. I should have bought at that time. Now money do Juru, but it's still a good buy. Uni is a good buy. Long-term keep. I think it's going to do significantly well in 2021 throughout the altcoin pumps. Based on my research, I think it's going to do very, very well. In terms of our technical analysis, the only thing that's changed that the intraday sentiment has moved from sell to buy between last week and now. I mean, as evidenced by that humongous pump on the 4-hour candle at 9 o'clock this morning. In terms of I was going to talk about technical analysis versus fundamental analysis before we go into question and answers. Now, for many people that are already into investment, you understand what fundamental analysis means. It's analysis of what is happening with the markets, what's happening in the environment, what's happening with the government, what's happening on the news, what's happening in the various places, versus the technical analysis, which is what's happening on the charts. I mean, what I showed you on the Bitstamp chart is the technical analysis, and of course, that stuff I drew just now was a technical analysis explanation. So these bands that you are seeing are from a Fibonacci chart. These bands that you are seeing, this yellow band is what is called a Bollinger Band. Those are technical analysis tools, and you see the price is dropping back. This is crazy. The price is going down. It's going back down. Anyways, so this is technical analysis. This is what you see on the chart. For a good part, the chart is a representation of sentiment and what the price action has done in the past or is likely to do based on the way the chart is behaving. And because Bitcoin is a relatively newer asset, the chart is a better representation of market sentiment than it will be for things like stocks or Forex, because those are really heavily manipulated markets. So this one is manipulated as well, but it's not as heavy as the stock market. So you can take a look at, especially on the longer time frames, like the daily and the weekly. Institutional investors usually use daily and weekly charts. So on the daily and weekly, you can take a look at this and say, this looks like we might still not end up in the bullish run we are hoping for Bitcoin. If we close below this line, this is this yellow stuff is a Bollinger Band. Just to explain, it's an indicator that represents the median and the average of prices. So when the price is shifting to the upper side, it means the price is leaning to the upper band or the upper deviation from the median price. When it's below like this, it means the price is shifting to the lower band. In the middle is the median of the price over a period of time. And it's usually determined when the price is sitting in the middle. But the price is below the median, it means you're in a bearish sentiment. When it's above, it means you're in a bullish sentiment. So I mean, we went as far as 38,000, almost 38,500 plus today. Closing above 38,000, which is still possible, will seal the fate of Bitcoin in the next week, because it means that this downward trend that we've experienced there is going back up. But if we close downwards, if we close below 34 or further down, then you might see the price making an attempt to dig further down, which is what the institutional investors will be looking for anyway, because they want to buy at a discount. So that's technical analysis. Fundamental analysis is everything else. And to add to fundamental analysis, you now have social media, which can may or mar anything within 24 hours. So it's important that when we're looking at making buying decisions, especially investment decisions, consider what the fundamentals are. So like somebody said, okay, should I have bought Dogecoin? I said, well, the time to have bought Dogecoin was when it was worthless, somewhere in July or June, when nobody knew about it. And then to have cashed out on the hype that came in right now. But buying right now on the hype, you might be poking yourself with a sword, because the price might rapidly dump on you, and that will be the end. So it's important to understand that we don't buy when the hype is on. You buy when things are silent. So like many of the coins I've told you about now, some of them have not gained significantly today. Many of them have actually dropped in prices today. Now is a good time to buy. If you have Bitcoins, now is a good time to put them in alt, because if that chart I'm seeing holds true and the price does not close above the median for this week, for today, then we might be looking at more downward pressure on the price of Bitcoin. But anything can happen over the weekend. Elon Musk can wake up and tweet. He already added Bitcoin to his bio on Twitter. He can wake up and say, Tesla is now going to buy. Is that going to buy something million Bitcoin? Of course, automatically the price of Bitcoin you just wake up on Monday and it's 50K. But having said that, I think our play for the short term is alt. I'll take questions and answers. We only have 5 minutes left. I saw somebody unmute the mic just now. Okay, it's gone. Any questions for the night, as Brasha will say? Interesting. Nobody has any question. Okay. I think we're good then.
Yeah, your explanation was on point then.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a question.
Okay, Mr. Albert.
Sometimes looking at this background information where the sudden spike of Bitcoin today,
Yes.
and how it also declined a bit. I'm wondering how some of this information you can get it at, so that at least when it spikes, you are able to take profit before it start declining.
Yeah, one of the fastest way to do so is to see the network of Twitter accounts. So if you're on Twitter, one of the fastest way to do it is to follow the hashtag and follow Bitcoin news, follow Bitcoin hashtag, so that, and you can put a notification of that on that hashtag to say that if any news pops up with that hashtag, you get notified. If any news has Bitcoin in it, it pops up in your feed as Bitcoin news. That's one of the fastest way to know what's up, to be honest. That's one of the fastest way, because usually when things like that are happening, you find out that. So if you went on Twitter today, now you see that Dogecoin and Bitcoin are trending, because everybody that wants to buy Bitcoin, they ask, okay, so how do I buy Dogecoin? They tell them you need to buy Bitcoin. So they were buying Bitcoin. At the same time, Mr. Musk was hyping Bitcoin on his platform. So then you had some other influencers that were now quoting Elon Musk's tweet, making Bitcoin trend more, and saying, Elon Musk is going to put his company's money into Bitcoin. So all that usually drives traffic. So if from the traffic, you can have an idea from the Twitter traffic, you can have an idea of what's going on.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Kinkizi, you have a question?
I get you. Thank you very much.
Yes. Go ahead. Sir.
Okay, I get you.
Okay, no problems. Okay, I thought I saw somebody else's hands up. Yeah, so that's usually what's if you see anything moving the price in the short term, that's usually what's up. Who's Wealth Hackers? Wealth Hackers, did you want to say something on that question?
Hello, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, sir.
I was asking, do you think it's still worth buying Dogecoin?
Please don't buy Dogecoin, no. Please, I beg you.
We should avoid it.
Well, I mean, at least not now. And
Okay.
the reason I'm saying that is, it's not that, I would have loved to have bought earlier on, but at the time, I didn't feel it was worth my investment because really, Dogecoin doesn't have any use case other than hype. It's just a hype coin. Anytime somebody just decides, let's hype, usually, and it starts from TikTok. The last hype that started from TikTok, just had this young TikTok influencers, this teenager saying, Dogecoin is like the stock of crypto. Let's pump it to $1. Imagine if you have $1 million to Dogecoin and the Dogecoin becomes $1. And they just start like that. And before you know it, Dogecoin starts pumping. So it doesn't have any other use.
So like
than
a pump and dump.
Exactly. It's a pure pump and dump play. So if it starts pumping, you are best to have been in it ab initio. Of course, I knew guys that jumped in. I was on a chat forum with guys that didn't sleep overnight, jumping and jumping out. But it's a risky play, very, very risky at this point because, of course, they're still saying, we need to take it to $1. Or you need huge amount of money to take Dogecoin to $1, and I will explain that. Let me look for Dogecoin. I explain what I mean. If you see the market cap, so Dogecoin is currently 8 billion, and the supply, I think supply is like 100 billion.
Wow.
So for you to, it's sitting at maybe 6 cents or thereabouts or 7 cents. For you to make it to 100 billion, you need significant amount of capital, given the existing supply of the coin. So it's not going to pump much more. It's already dropped drastically between this morning or last night and today. So it's not a good play. If you want to buy crypto, frankly, I would say buy Ethereum. Okay, if you're looking for, I don't want to say quick money, but if you're looking for fast return, you can download the Swissborg app. And I think I shared the Swissborg app link on that WhatsApp group. But I'll share the link again. You can download the app, then connect your account and buy Swissborg. Swissborg is currently 50 cents. When I was talking about it, then it was less than 20 cents, or about 20 cents, 21 or 24 cents. So you can buy Swissborg. It has a use case. It has an application. It's like a banking and an investment app.
And where is it? It's on. It has
its own app.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
So this is Swissborg. It has its own app. It's currently sitting at $500 million.
You said it has a use case as well.
Heavy use case. It's number 60 on CoinMarketCap on CoinMarketCap list by market capitalization, and is really early compared to many of the other banking / investment app like Crypto.com or Celsius. It's really early, and for people in the UK and the Western world particularly, it allows you to connect your bank account, which I think is fabulous at the time when Coinbase and the other ones are blocking people. I used to be able to connect my bank account with Coinbase before. Now they say they can't render that service again. So now I use Swissborg, and it takes literally minutes. If you wanted to send funds to and fro, in minutes the funds reflect. It's almost like when you do send funds to your friend using faster payments. So I think they'll get rapid adoption beyond now. So fantastic play for this year, definitely. And that's why I say I think Swissborg has the capacity to do $5. Have no doubt about it.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
GLE3.
Good evening. Dr. Shandy, did you say something?
Yeah. No.
Okay. There's somebody else that was trying to say something more. Was broken up. I didn't hear well.
No, you were talking of Swissborg doing $5, and I was jubilating GLE 43.
Wicked. But really, I think there's still going to be that pump. I don't know whether it's going to be the first altcoin pump or the second one this year that is going to take it to those levels. But I think one of those pumps is going to. It's the more reason I am. In fact,
you mean Swissborg?
Yes.
Of course, if you listen to all the analysis about Swissborg from all these other guys, you will know that Swissborg to $10 is even easy. It's going to be an easy play. It's going to be an easy play. Remember, yes, they have I think $1 billion total supply or whatever. But then, out of this, they do bond.
Yeah.
Bonding reduces the volume of the coin.
Yeah.
So it's only a matter of time. I mean, if Seychelles can do what Seychelles has done, I mean, in a very short time, I strongly believe.
Again.
I know that Seychelles, really drove me crazy. If you can do that within 6 months period, I think Swissborg can do more.
Absolutely. Seychelles was 6 cents.
Yes, in March. In March, it was 6 cents, and it went as high as $6. So, a $500 investment would have given you close to $45,000. In a space of 6 months. In a space of 6 months, it would have given you more than $45,000. So, I mean, I first for one, I strongly believe that Swissborg is going to do something really crazy. Really, because it's more flexible, even than Seychelles.
Yeah.
It's more flexible than Seychelles. Yeah, so I mean, the app, you can do your swap, you can do everything within the app, which is not, applicable to Seychelles. You want to remove your money.
You don't even understand what's happening. Right. What people don't understand with Swissborg that I found out is that when you are saying you are doing that exchange, Swissborg is actually not the one doing the exchange, like the other apps. What Swissborg is doing is it has APIs connected to about 6 different exchanges. So when you place a demand to exchange, it goes to each of those exchanges and look for the lowest price, then places a market order and collects the. I'm telling you, that's what it does. That's what the technology does.
Right.
So if people find out that that's what's really happening, I think it's going to really blow, as we say.
It's going to blow. It's going to blow big time. Then
why? Don't forget the money you promised me.
Don't worry, I'll collect it from the fish. The person that was talking about Dogecoin, please don't go into Dogecoin now. If you don't want to turn to Ajiribi, don't try it. I would rather say go and wait for Dogecoin at 25 sats, 20, 25 sats, 30 sats, yeah. But around that level, as it is right now, don't. It is still going to pump. It is still going to pump. In 2017, Dogecoin pumped more than how many times? It is going to pump again. It is going to pump. There is no two ways to it. Now that they made it a social media coin, the day these guys on TikTok are, their hand is scratching them, they just want to do something, they will still talk about Dogecoin again. It will still pump, but not at this level. But I believe there are so many other coins, small coins that will be pumping, just like Dr. Dennis said, will be spiking and anyhow. See Dogecoin, see Fund. Those two coins, they are very funny coins. Fund, that's Funfair and Dogecoin. They're almost the same thing. They don't really have anything spectacular that they are doing. You know, they just dash people money anyhow. They this they want to. Yeah, that's just what
Yeah.
Yeah, that
They
should
call,
be, that should be,
they collect,
yeah, that should be
they
money.
collect, they collect
They
money
collect
from
from
some people
somebody.
and give some
Yes, they
other
collect money
people.
from people and give to some other people.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like the person that wanted to buy it now, they will collect it
yes,
from
so and give it to another person. Finish. And you know the sad thing is that the next pump may not get to this place. It may not get to this level. The next pump may not get to this level. So you just see, they will just say it has done 500%. But the 500% is not, it's still, you are still running at a loss, even at that 500%. Now, talking about DEXs, just like Dr. Demi mentioned about Uniswap, Uni is a must, hold for everyone. Then, alongside, let's look at 1 inch, because all these DEXs will be having so much influx. They'll be having so much influx this year with all this kind of thing that is happening on Robinhood and all this nonsense. They'll be coming, these stocks, everything will be listing on DEXs and all of that, where nobody is controlling, pure peer-to-peer, Uniswap, 1 inch, LON. There's a coin called LON. That is LON token. LON token is doing fantastically well. I don't believe, there was an airdrop of LON token.
Yeah.
Right? Did you get it? But it was not much.
But I never got it.
I got 101.
On this is it
IM token.
I remember I am token. Yeah.
Yes, IM token.
Now, it was an IM token.
Yes, IM token. Now the day they did 50, 51 here and there like that. And I have 2 accounts on IM token. I got up on both because I did swap. I used them to buy Chainlink that time. Now they did the airdrop. The day they did the airdrop, I think it was $100 and something. I never ever checked again. I did not. Somebody just drew my attention to it today. Say, boss, LON is $8. I said, what are you saying? Bro, by the time I went back to check my LON, it was $846.
Wow.
And the guy showed me the chart saying the thing, it will first of all get to $10. It will shape, continue its journey to $100. You understand? So 101 units that was given to me for free. Funny enough, IM token is not an app. It's not a wallet I go to. I even remember. Most times I don't remember it. So I now asked, I said, so you are telling me that this thing, I will just wake up one day and see 10,000. He said yes. I said, okay, we are watching.
Wow.
It is not collecting food from my hand. I'm not giving it food. Let it be there. We are watching. You understand?
I remember you drew people's attention on a platform that they should swap and.
I said it. I mentioned it over and over again on the platform. Go and swap IM token. Make sure you swap. I said it more than 6-7 times. I said it. All right. So DEXs, we should take it very, very seriously. 1 inch is going to do very well also. It's going to be like Uniswap. 1 inch exchange, 1 inch token.
Yeah.
It's going to be like Uniswap.
Sorry, DEXs. Which one did you say, sir?
DEXs are decentralized exchanges.
Oh, okay.
So just like Uniswap, just like 1 inch, all these Sushi Swap and all of that. All those are native tokens. We do well. Of course, their father is Uniswap. That is their father. There is no 2 ways to it. But all other ones, remember, You know, they will say what is good for the Bitcoin is good for altcoins, is good for all other coins. So what is good for Uniswap is good for 1inch. It's good for long token. You understand? Because people will be coming. At the end of the day, there will be some newbies that don't even know the difference between Uniswap and 1inch. All their own is they just want to get hold of something that nobody is manipulating, nobody is controlling. It's pure, peer-to-peer solution, stuff like that. That is what we are going to keep seeing in the area of all these things. So, just take a look at 1inch. 1inch got to, I think it was $3 yesterday or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came to $1 or something. In fact, it came below $1 because I got 603 for free on December 25. And I sold this for 2.4 Ethereum. After 2 days, I used 0.7 Ethereum to buy that 603 back.
Wow.
Do you understand? Yes, I sold it. So yesterday, I sold that 603 back to Ethereum to give me 1.5 Ethereum. So all I'm doing is I'm using it to collect back, Ethereum and all of that.
Yeah.
Then I looked at it, I see that the price is going up, and I went and used 0.5 of it. I'm farming. I'm even using it. I'm farming it on their platform. Use the money I got from them, gave it back to them as liquidity. Then I started farming it. Then I now use the remaining balance to replace the 1inch. It's there. One day you just wake up and see 1inch at $15. Just like what we are seeing in Uniswap. Somebody told me the other day, he said he doesn't believe Uniswap token will ever go beyond $3 or $5 because it came back down. Remember when Peter said we should buy, it was around $5.
Yeah. It went
We
down
bought,
to $1.
yeah, it came back to 1 point something dollars. And people were like, Ayo, this coin, da 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 da. You asked us to buy. I said I didn't ask you to buy. You saw the report and you buy. Now you have bought it. Okay, if you are not cool with it, can you give it to me and I'll give you your Bitcoin? The guy said, are you serious? Oh, yeah, give me the 1 each. Your Uniswap. How much did you buy? He said he bought at $3.50. Okay, how many did you buy? He bought 50. It's now back to $1 something. Calculate it at $3.50. How much? Let me give you the Bitcoin. Send it to me. The guy refused. You are complaining. You don't need to complain. Now he called me 3 days ago. He said, Ayo, you are wicked. So you knew where but then you were the one that was complaining. You saw the report yourself. Twitter said this thing is going to do, I think, $98 or something.
Yeah.
That was the figure he quoted, $98. And when he says $98, for me, I'm seeing $198. If Twitter is saying 98, I'm adding another 100 because he's trying to be kind of
conservative,
be conservative. In all his reports, that's how it's been. So, I mean, I don't mind if my Bible, if it goes to zero, even if it goes to 50 cents, no problem. I will hold it as long as I didn't buy it with bank money. I will keep holding it and let it be there. You understand? So that's just the thing for me. Personal opinion. So I will equally suggest. Let's look at 1inch. Let's look at long token, and then see. No matter how small, along with our Polkadot, along with our ADA, along with our Uniswap, let's just pick all of these things here and there. Then Swissborg, don't joke with it. Don't joke. The day Dr. Demi told me, I ran to the group. I said it to them, guys. If you have missed sessions, go and buy Swissborg. Buy and hold. I look for small money. I bought it.
You see, Ewa, people, I think people did not. Some people did not have the benefit of attending the Zoom. So when it was put on the platform, they were asking on which exchange. But
yes, I told them it's on the app. I remember sending the link because in Nigeria we are not allowed to even use our own link to sign up. Yeah, I remember putting Dr. Demi's link on the group. Then some people contacted me privately. I sent them his link to go and sign up on Swissborg. for them to go and buy. You understand? The bottom line is, okay, get information, take it back home. Of course, I know it's not everybody that can have access or have the opportunity of attending Zoom meetings. You understand? But then the essence of it is, okay, when we have this information, we take it back home and let everybody benefit. For me. One thing again I noticed is that most of the time, when you post something, most people on the group don't attend to it. You understand? They don't. I can tell you that for free. They don't. Why? Because it is not Tika that is saying it. And I don't have any problem with that. Most of them on that group didn't know that apart from Tika that we subscribe to, we have, and I can tell you, myself, Dr. Deni, we have some other platforms that we subscribe to that nobody is aware of. And we are not charging anybody for this thing. You understand? We get the information and we bring it back to the table. That is why this is what I am doing. As long as I have whatever information we pass on that table, on that group, be sure that our money is inside already. Be sure that our money is inside. No matter how little, our money is inside. You understand?
Yeah.
When CRO was flying the other time, maybe that was how we were shouting. Do you know that some people till tomorrow never had one CRO on that group? And we had someone that used $70,000 to buy CRO alone at 4 cents. And he moved out at 18 cents.
Thanks.
You understand?
Yes.
I mean, it's like that. The information is there for everybody. What you now make do of the information is now what matters at the end of the day. But the information will keep bringing. Anyone that is not happy.
Hello,
yes,
AY.
sir. Yes, sir.
Let's look at this thing. What about Joe Swap? The partnership with Binance and all the other coins that are coming alongside that.
Right. Juice swap is good. They did airdrop. Though I did not partake in the airdrop anyway. I did hear about it.
I know they did airdrop, and
they did airdrop. Oh, okay, good. If you can, that juice swap is going to go very. Anything swap. Look at Trust Swap. See what Trust Swap did in 24 hours. So all those swap things, they will do very well because they are attached to DeFi, here and there. And that is the money. Once money move from Bitcoin to Ethereum, it's coming to all of those points. It's coming to them big time.
So how do we see the authenticity of this one? Because for the swap, when you are doing, you don't see anything like centralized exchange where you see something. Yeah, you don't see anything.
You don't need. See, Mr. Albert, these things are going away from centralized exchange. If you look at smart centralized exchanges now, like Binance, they have their own now.
Yeah.
All smart centralized exchanges are now taking position in terms of DEXing, because that's the next thing. Now, tomorrow you may wake up and they tell you, before, I think I heard something about USA, they are going to pass the law. Whether they have passed the law, they're going to pass the law before you can transfer, money from one exchange out to your wallet or whatever. As long as it's above 3,000, you must do KYC.
KYC.
You understand? But nobody sends you on a DEX platform. You don't need any funny KYC. You don't need it. You understand? And that is what is going to drive those platforms. That is what is going to drive their governance token. Those things are going to drive them like crazy. You understand? If government is clamping down on centralization, they will go through that. And that's it. I mean, the vision of crypto is peer-to-peer. I mean, it's not for government to even interfere in the first place anyway. KYC was never part of Satoshi's dream. You understand? It was never part of it. Because government want to do, they want to take control. They want to make money for me and stuff like that. That's why they are bringing all of this. And then, you know, the space is becoming wiser and wiser every day also. Okay, you want to catch us here, no wahala. We'll go to this place. And that's why Dirty, you know, came. That's why they came. And that's why we are seeing what we are seeing on them today. Okay? So let's all those Drew swap, please. Yeah, let's take them, you know, whatever any Dex's coin or token that you see, buy and hold. Buy and hold. If anybody has told me that loan will be $1 in the next 6 months, I will say it's a lie. But it's $8 right now. You understand? It's $8 because for me, I don't know what they are doing with on IM token, but it's a very, very big business that is going on there. When I checked it today, a lot of things, you know, is happening behind the scenes than what we are just seeing on the face value of all of these centralized exchanges. Live crypto has gone far, far beyond centralized exchanges. Far, far beyond.
See.
On the final note,
okay.
if you have the opportunity to buy Tron, I think Tron is going to pump over this weekend because it's basically just social media, not social media hype, but the Tron founder, Justin Sun, I just saw a tweet from him saying that he's going to buy 1 million of GME stocks when the Asian market opens. And that he wants the Wall Street Bet community to know that the 4 billion Asian community and 20 million Tron community are behind them. So it's going to get very bloody. It's going to get very bloody for. I think plus once it's going to practically stop selling shares for GME. If I were the GME guys, I would have gone to one of the major exchanges and tokenized my shares. So I would have issued out a new set of shares and tokenized it. It will have sold out, absolutely. As in, it will be a billionaire by now. But all you need to do is just get somebody to create some ERC token and, just say we are issuing out on Binance or something. It will sell out flat like crazy. Anyways, so if you have Tron, good idea to pack some bags. I think we might see some Tron pump in response to GME.
If you don't have buy, it doesn't buy. Buy.
I have some volume on staking. Let them go on stake it.
But on stake anything you can stake. Buy anything you can buy. Dr. Denny, see me at the end of.
Okay, no, well, I'll call you after now. Thank you very much. If there are no other questions, I think we're good to have a nice weekend. See you next week, guys. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, take care.
Yes, bye.